Hello, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. For this week, you'll continue working on your literacy narrative, reading about pre-writing techniques, and studying the different elements you can use to tell your story. Also, you'll examine sample student essays, looking at various ways that you can tell your own story. To continue your work on the literacy narrative, you will submit journal entry number 3, listening to the conversation. For this entry, follow these steps. First, read in conversation pages 18 to 21 and 41 to 43. Next, read Philip Lopate's writing personal essays on the necessity of turning oneself into a character. Then read the sample student essays, Anonymous's Spanglish, Danielle Marquez's Learning Another Language, and Tyra Volney's Simply Passion. You'll find the attachments for the sample essays below. I'd like to thank Hilda for pointing out that the attachments for Learning Another Language were just repeating pages from Simply Passion. So I corrected this error, and hopefully you won't have any problems accessing these attachments. But if you do, you could always find these sample student essays by going to Course Resources, clicking on Module 2, Identity and Language, and then clicking on the text Queensborough Reads. Here you'll find the sample student essays, so you would just click on it, and then you'd have to, of course, look at the table of contents to find out, like, student essay Anonymous Spanglish, you see is on page 25. Learning Another Language is 27, and Simply Passion is 29. So then you would just scroll down to find those sample essays. And again, that's if you're having difficulties uploading the attachments of those essays when you're in assignments. So getting back to journal entry number 3, the fourth step for this entry is to choose one of the sample student essays, then write about the effectiveness of the sample essay using Lopate's recommendations for writing an effective narrative essay. To do this, consider at least 4 of these questions in your journal entry, forming your response into paragraphs separated by topics. So again, you're going to look at 4 of these questions in your journal entry. So you might look at the question, to what extent do you think the writer chose a topic or a central theme that is neither too ambitious nor too slight, so that its scale will be appropriate for satisfying exploration? And that's from Lopate's essay, page 40. Why or why not? Or you can look at, what is the topic of the essay? Do you think the topic is interesting? Why or why not? Or to what extent does the writer get in the basic orienting facts, the who, what, where, when, and why, as close to the top, Lopate 41, of the essay as possible? Or quote a passage, 3 to 4 sentences that springs vividly, Lopate 42, to your mind, that stands out on the page, that grabs you. Why do you think this passage grabs you? Is it descriptive, amusing, suspenseful, mysterious? How do you think the writer developed herself as a character? Does the I seem credible, quirky, interesting, ambivalent, flawed, self-honest? Why or why not? To what extent do you think the writer shows more about the I character than tells? For instance, does the writer give the I character something to do, Lopate 43, in order to illustrate the kind of person she is? What do you think is the conflict or problem in the sample essay? To what extent do you think the conflict or problem is effective? Or you can think about, what do you think about the conflict or problem's resolution? To what extent do you think the writer creates an easy or unbelievable solution? And this journal entry is due by the end of the day on February 14th. Also, you'll start to pre-write and draft your essay. So for the discussion forum, follow these steps. 1, after reading in conversation pages 18 to 22, use one of the following pre-writing strategies to help you begin thinking about your narrative essay. You can use brainstorming, free writing, looping, clustering mapping, or sentence starters. 2, share your pre-writing in this forum as an attachment. If you handwrote your pre-writing in a notebook, you can scan it or take a picture of it and attach it to this forum. 3. Write a rough draft of your essay and post it to this forum. Your rough draft can include an introduction and 1 or 2 body paragraphs. It doesn't have to be a complete essay. Remember, it's a rough draft. You can include your rough draft as an attachment, or you can copy and paste it to the content box of your thread. When replying to your peer, try to follow these guidelines. 1. Offer words of encouragement as you have already been doing in the discussion forum, so keep that up, pointing out the effective aspects of the draft. Be specific here. You can mention golden lines, lines that grab you. You can mention the writer's effective use of a storytelling element, such as setting or imagery, or you can mention the writer's effective use of a theme. 2. Note areas in the writing that may need improvement and how these areas can be improved. And 3. If appropriate, you can ask questions and/or point out what you have learned from your peers' post. This discussion forum the main post is due by the end of the day on February 15th, and your reply is due by the end of the day on February 16th. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me. You may also post your general questions in the class questions forum, or you can stop by during my office hours this week on Monday and Tuesday from 12 to 1 p.m. Due to a scheduling conflict, there will be no office hour on Wednesday. That's it for now. Have a great week. Bye.